Join me by the candlelight. Miller's Field, written by Bonnie Bailey 63, narrated by Tales to Chill. It was Chloe's favorite time of year again, fall. She loved the colors and fresh crisp air that came along with it. This year the high school was doing a haunted hayride out at Miller's Field. The land hadn't been used in ages, and the county had taken it over. Mr. Bishop, the school principal, had gotten permission to do the hayride in the back end of the field, and Mr. Jensen, the school janitor, had offered to be the driver. It seemed everything was falling into place until Mrs. Jensen started complaining about the location. You see, the land had bad history. It wasn't good. At one time, Miller's Field had been the location of a farmstead and what seemed to be the happy home of the Miller family. The family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Miller and their 2 sons. The sons worked the farm every day alongside their father, planting and harvesting corn. One day, while delivering a package, the mailman smelled a horrible smell. He called the sheriff and a couple deputies came out to check it out. What they found sent a shiver up their spines. Mr. and Mrs. Miller was found on the sofa with their throats slit so deep they were almost decapitated. The older son was found in the kitchen, completely gutted, laid back on the kitchen table. They searched for the younger son, but there was no trace of him. Only a blood trail that led to the barn. They expected to find another gruesome sight in the barn, but it was empty. The blood trail they were following stopped at the door. The property had been vacant for years, and finally, the county cleared the property and demolished the house and barn. No one had been on the site in ages, until now. Mr. Bishop had recruited a few of the football team to start setting up for the haunted hayride. Miss Amesley, head of the drama department, was supplying the props. Finally came the night for the hayride. The first group loaded up in the wagon with Mr. Jensen ready for the drive. Chloe was running a bit late to get there in time for the first run, but she made it just in time for the second. With the wagon loaded up, they were ready to go. Jason, one of the football players that set up, said to Mark, "Do you remember that scarecrow?" "I don't remember a scarecrow in the props," Mark replied. "Me either, but it does look scary as hell." They were approaching the final turn of the backfield when they noticed another scarecrow. This one was even creepier. It looked like it was drenched in blood. It had a machete in its hand. "Did you see that? It looked like its head turned," said Jason. "Don't punk out, man. It's probably someone in a suit that Miss Amesley planned to scare everyone," Mark said. They were coming closer to the scarecrow as they rounded the turn. All of a sudden, it jumped off its post and started towards the wagon. Without skipping a beat, it jumped onto the wagon and started slaughtering the teens. Heads and limbs were lopped off in one swing. Mr. Jensen tried to jump from the tractor, but he didn't have a chance. When the wagon didn't return from the second run, Miss Amesley started to get concerned. Sheriff Ambrose was there with his family to get on the third run of the hayride.
"Sheriff, I'm beginning to get worried. They should have been back about 20 minutes ago,"
said Miss Amesley. "I can take a run out there to check. Jensen might have trouble with that old tractor," said Ambrose. What Ambrose found made his blood run cold. He saw the wagon just sitting in the back field, but he didn't see anyone in it. It looked empty from a distance. As he got closer, he started seeing body pieces. The backfield was the site of a massive slaughter. Heads, arms, legs, everywhere. The sheriff jumped back in his truck and called for backup. They roped off the backfield and searched for any evidence of a suspect, but to no avail. Miller's Field sits empty again till this day. The suspect was never found, nor a weapon. No one goes to Miller's Field. They don't even like passing by. There have been reports of weird-looking scarecrows in the field, but no one will enter to investigate. Don't enter Miller's Field. Don't get too curious.